Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Connie Pascal, and I am the instructor for Certification Practicum. And let's go ahead and get started. So, as I mentioned, my name is Connie, and I'm your instructor for the course. So, this is a little bit about me. Again, I have been teaching this class for quite some time, and I'm happy to be part of this particular endeavor because it's one of the best classes that I've ever been involved with, which allows us to help you align your coursework and what you're learning in school with giving you practical hands-on, or as close as we can get to practical hands-on experience in the real world. Here's our agenda real quick. And then let's just dive in real quick and tell you what certification practicum is all about. So most of you have already done this, but this is the course Canvas site. Again, one of the things that I want you to look at is modules, which is where you're going to find information and resources about with including this particular presentation, as well as PDFs of and access to everything here that's on this particular page. So make sure you see that. Here's our learning objectives. Mainly the learning objectives, as I mentioned before, is to give you the opportunity to actually get hands-on, practical, problem-based experience or experience solving actual problems that people have in the actual organizational workplace. So the other thing that's really important about this class is that it also will help you to develop some very good time management skills, as well as better understand how you learn and how you self-learn in particular. Something that's a given in as an ITI professional is that you will indeed have to continue to learn your entire career in order to stay employable, in order to stay engaged in the field. You have to constantly self-learn and constantly recertify your skills. So this course is a way for you to develop good habits and understand how that best works for you. So again, this is not an overview class of all the certification options. You're working on your own certification. It's not a true independent study either. So you're going to be, this is a curriculum. There's a weekly assignment in the form of a journal entry, plus there's a final project, and of course the competency assessments. It's not something you do alone. You're with 45, 50 other people. Again, and part of what you'll want to do is make sure you read about their reflections and understand their experience because you can learn so much from each other. And again, this class is not an easy A or even an easy B. This is not a class that you can take lightly. It does require time, effort, and as I'll talk about a little bit later, grit. So how does it work? You're going to buy the license from the list of choices. That license is going to give you access to CompTIA's Cert Master Learn platform learning environment. Sometimes you might see this referred to as LabSim. LabSim actually reflects the fact that this particular product used to be produced and available through a company called testout.com. 3 years ago, CompTIA bought testout.com for what they call their LabSim product, which is this learning platform that we use and we really like. And they are rebranding it now as Cert Master Learn. So that's what that's all about. You're going to progress through that platform on your own for the most part. You're going to post a weekly journal, and you're going to actually also do a practice exam and write an essay, and you'll take the CompTIA competency assessment test as your final exam for the course. And it's your first step to a professional development pathway. So these are the certifications that can be used in this course. There's the A+ one, the Learn Network, Learn Tech, which is a fundamentalist class. Cyber Defense Pro, if you're interested in that, please talk to me and make sure that you have both the cyber security and the networking skills needed for that one. These two classes are Microsoft related, so if you're interested in cloud configuration, in supporting server side, in that sort of thing, those are for you. Linux, stands alone. If you're a Linux person, you know you're a Linux person. And if you're interested in telecom, our Cisco here is the routing and switching course. And then our most popular course is Security Pro, which is akin to the Security Plus certification. You are required to purchase your own Cert Master Learn platform license. You must purchase this in your own name, and again, use your Rutgers email address. The cost of the certifications vary between $116 and $223. This is the student discounted rate, so you are getting a pretty good discount from CompTIA for being a student. You do have to verify that you are a student through Share ID and refer to the How Do I Purchase instructions as well, which I'm going to cover later in this presentation. And then also there is a downloadable sheet in the modules area with this information, as well as a link to this information on the Canvas homepage. So your license is good for 12 months as well. So let's move on to talk a little bit more about the actual Cert Master Learn platform. So let's go move on to about the Cert Master Learn platform learning environment. Okay. So research. So one of the things that you can do that CompTIA has put in is they actually have put in this little tool, which they call their course catalog. And again, it can kind of, you can go there and you can explore the different certifications if you're having trouble with that. There's a link to this also in modules in Canvas. So again, if you are having trouble figuring out, or you want to, take a look at a couple different ones, you can use that tool to do so. And again, CompTIA is the company, Cert Master Learn platform is the learning environment, and there's that stuff. So again, just a little bit, who is CompTIA? It's Computer Technology Industry Association. You may or may not have heard of it before. It's very widely known. Most people don't know that it is a nonprofit, however, which does make it so it's not necessarily tied to industry, although they, of course, do represent industry. Industry recognized certifications. And CompTIA Learn platform, again, is the testing and learning platform. And again, that kind of looks like that. So most of your platform, or most of your units. So it's divided into units. Each course has a different number of units. So when you purchase your course, one of the things you need to do is look how long is it, how much is in there, and then figure out how many weeks you have to study it, what your schedule looks like, and make a calculation about how much you need to get through every week in order to be where you want to be by the time you're ready to take the practice exam, which is in November, and then the final exam, which is in December. But each of the units are going to contain labs and videos and lessons. There's handouts, there's worksheets, there's practice tests. And again, they provide the content in lots and lots of different ways. I would also encourage you to go outside of CompTIA and go to, again, Professor Messer is a great source of other additional training materials. If there's something you're not understanding, find another source and see if that helps. So again, you've got the simulation labs, you've got an expert, you've got interactive video control. They allow you to speed it up, which is something a lot of people like, or go back. Again, they have lessons, they have section exams, they have quizzes, and they have performance reports so that you can get some idea. So this is an example of what it kind of looks like. So the scenario, this is what I'm talking about when it still says test out, but that would say CompTIA now. So you would get a scenario. So this is your problem. And again, you have to know or be able to find out how to do all of the different tasks that would close these particular problems or address these particular issues. But that's kind of how it looks. So what it looks like when you log in. So here's what it looks like when you log into Security Pro. So you'll see a screen that looks like this. Oops, sorry. And then you'll open that out and you'll see a screen that looks like that. Go through the outline in particular. And again, this is how you'll navigate the actual courseware. is through that area. So this is the assessment part. So this is at the end of the semester, this is what you'll be taking. And this is going to answer the questions that we had about, is it the same thing as an industry recognized certification? So the assessment is again, skills-based, so problem-based learning. It's not the official certification exam, but you must pass it or you must come close to passing it to show that you're ready to basically take the next step or take the industry certified exam. So what this does is it's going to measure how well you apply what you learn, because this is applied learning. You got to know stuff before you can actually do the problem. So what the assessment does is it demonstrates, again, your practical job relevant skills, and that's the important part. So basically it means you can solve these problems, you can apply knowledge, and this is what employers are looking for. And it helps you to connect your coursework that you're doing in the ITI program with the actual real world problems that are out there and how that solves. Employers view the certification itself as valuable, but they're not necessarily going to view the competency assessment as valuable. I mean, you can certainly put that on your resume, but what they're going to see that is that it's an indication that you have the wherewithal and the grit in order to pursue this knowledge. And you need to, as it puts right here, you need to think of this as your green light. So this is kind of a signal that you are truly ready to learn and take that next step. So again, so just to reiterate, so here's the questions. Is the CompTIA competency assessment equivalent to industry standard certifications? What will it do for you? And will employers see it as valuable? So no, it is not the same as the industry recognized certification from CompTIA, Cisco, or Microsoft. Gives you the confidence and the skills, prepares you to take those tests. So it's getting you ready for it. And employers see it as an indicator, but not necessarily, again, as a credential just yet. So it's an indication that you're willing to put the work in and do the time. So this is up on this particular form is in the module. You can also download it and you can also access it through the homepage on Canvas. But this gives you, again, kind of a idea about, so if you're taking the A+ core test here, I'm sorry, that's going to prepare you for this particular industry recognized exam. So if you're taking Security Pro, you're going to be able to be prepared for the Security Plus exam. If you're taking networking, you're going to be prepared for the Cisco CCNA. So that's how, and again, so this is up there. Here's a more detailed version of this. And again, I'm not going to go through it, but this is your pathway. So this is, if you're going to do A++, it's going to cost you $223. Because again, it is both of those 1 and 2, so it does cost a little bit more. If you want to get the actual A++ certification, you would then pay an additional $122 for the exam voucher. And that, if you paid the additional money and you took that exam, then you would be a certified A++ person. So Security Pro, again, kind of the same thing there. So this is what you'll pay for the class, and this is what you would pay for the additional actual industry recognized certifications. And then I don't have specific information for Cisco or Microsoft, but I'm happy to try and find that for any of you who are taking those. So let me stop right there and see if anybody has any questions.
So you
Good evening.
mentioned that the A+, since it's split into core 1 and core 2, the price is put for 2 exams instead of the price of 1.
Looks like it, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's a good course. It's going to teach you a lot. I was kind of surprised to see the price too, but they have been, I mean, that's kind of like their star product. So anybody else?
Also, I see there's remember there was a practice one in like November. and then like the final in December. Is that on Canvas or will that be on the Cert Master?
Cert Master.
Okay.
Yeah, again, Cert Master. Mhm.
Um,
And the practice is supposed to be for the competency, or is that for the
For the competency exam. Yep.
okay, so there's the practice competency and then there's the actual competency at the end of the semester.
Right. And then you're ready to go take the industry recognized exam.
Okay.
So it's prep. All right. And again, I'm
um,
happy to schedule meetings with you guys, with anybody who wants to talk further or has trouble. Because they changed all of this semester, this over the summer. So I know it's a lot and it's kind of can be confusing. Did someone else have a question?
yeah, I have a question. So for the industry recognized was the certifications, I know for CompTIA they have like student discounts. Is that the price reflected with the student discount?
Yeah, these are the student discounts. Yep.
Also for let's say Cisco and Microsoft, do you know if they have student discounts or no? They just have like a flat price for
Well, these are
pros.
so even though these are from Cisco and Microsoft, they're actually still delivered through the Comp Master or the Cert Master platform. So these are the prices
Okay, so
that you
then
would pay.
so for the let's just see like the cost for the actual exam, right? The industry recognized one.
Uh-huh.
Do you know if there's a student discounts for those as well or no? There's probably isn't.
For Cisco and Microsoft, I suspect
Yeah.
there are, but I don't know. So if you, again, most I will of the 50 students that'll be in this class, we'll have two or three that take these. Everybody else is going to be up here in the CompTIA. So any of
Mm-hmm.
you who are taking these exams, I'll know and we'll find out what those costs are. I just didn't have it at my fingertips.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
But there should be a discount. If not, we'll ask for one.
Okay.
And if they don't give it, then we'll ask again with a louder voice. Here's some tips. Again, networking has 13 units. It's quite challenging, but students do find it very useful, and it's good to pair up with your network and internet technology class. Again, this is a great class to pair up with some of your coursework. Cert Master Learn Tech, again, is the one that covers the foundational concepts. Client Pro, again, this is actually not a very popular one. I usually maybe have one a year that takes this class, but it's decent if you want to understand the difference, between, how the client side or what is on people's desktop, be able to support that sort of thing. Cyber Defense Pro, again, is really for people with existing knowledge of, in particular, networks, as well as existing cybersecurity skills. So, you know, I'm not going to say no if you really want to do it, but do know that it will be a challenge if you don't have those skills. Again, as I mentioned, Linux, people love the Linux one. It's challenging though. You have to dig in, but it really does help. So Linux is good if you're thinking about, again, going into databases. If you're thinking about going into distributed systems, for example, that's a good one. A++ again is the internals of the PC, peripherals, some cyber, a little bit of networking, that sort of thing. So again, sets you up to be, again, great support person, makes you pretty popular with your family because you're the one who knows how to set up the printers and get all the new laptops up and running. So, but again, a very good course. Security Pro, this is, again, as I said before, the most popular course that we offer, and it is where what's good about it is it really covers the broad spectrum of cybersecurity. So it includes physical security, like facility security, as well as social engineering and policy. So it does a really great job with that. Routing and switching, again, very challenging. You really need to have telecom or networking experience, and you need to really want to do this one because it's a tough one if you don't have that experience. If you have that experience, it will be a very good for you. Microsoft Systems people, again, the Hybrid Server Pro, those are ones you know who you are. So again, they're challenging, but quite good. And again, about each semester, about 25% of the class does fail the exam, but only 10% will actually fail the course. So we've got it set up again. So you have to really bomb pretty hard, or you have to really, not do any of the journal entries to actually fail this class. But it does happen. But again, the point being is that it's possible that the company assessment, you won't get the passing grade that you want, but it's still very possible that you can pass the course. All right. So here's again kind of what it looks like, what you'll see when you go there. Oh, it's still, I'm sorry, this still has the test out stuff. My apologies. Oh, ignore that one. That was from that. So again, go to modules if you want information or you want to download or look at the what makes a good reflection, your path to industry certifications, all of that we just talked about. Purchasing, this is how you're going to purchase it. So again, this is in here. It's also in the assignment and it is also in the module. So make sure that you take a look at that. You do have to verify that you are a student in order to get the discount. So this part right here is really important. So Sheer ID is you may have had to do this before in other classes. It's pretty common. So you basically have to prove that you are indeed a student and they'll validate that you have that student information. So make sure that you, again, at checkout, you're going to see a prompt that says student, see if you qualify. You're going to click on that. You're going to put in United States. You're going to put in school, Rutgers University, New Brunswick. Make sure you do that. And your name, your date of birth, your Rutgers email address. That's really, really important. And then you're going to send that through Sheer ID. They're going to validate you as a student, and then they're going to apply the discount for you. You can confirm payment, you place your order, then you're going to get the access key. And then you're going to redeem your key by going to this address, platform.comptia.org, where you're going to add the course and go ahead and start your coursework. So I can't help you with this because I don't have access to anything at CompTIA. I'm always more than happy to help in any way I can, but your first line of defense, quickest way to get help if you have issues with this is to go to CompTIA customer service. And they got lots of different ways. They got a chat bot, they got a phone line, they got email, etc. All right. Any other questions before we go?
When I'm just looking, what I was looking at when you go to platform.compta.org, when like you log in, it says like account setup. Like, do we have to link your account with your institution, then like enroll in the class?
Yeah,
And
it'll walk you through that. Yeah, you have to be linked in order for me to be able to see your progress in the learning platform. You have to link your license to the class and it'll walk you through that.
okay, yeah, 'cause I would just look when I was looking, like you said, like your instructor, and then it shows like take what is it? It shows what it's when you select an instructor, it shows like select class. If
Mhm.
what I didn't purchase it yet because I'm still deciding between, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do A plus or networking
Okay.
pro. Will that matter? Like say I choose A plus and I want to actually purchase the networking pro. Is that gonna cause issues? Do you know?
Yeah, you need to know what you're going to purchase at that when you sign up.
When you go, okay,
Yeah, yeah. So do your research beforehand.
okay,
And
thank
again,
you.
so make sure again that you just follow the prompts and link to either for some people my name comes up. Most people should see Rutgers, New Brunswick. There's also Rutgers Piscataway and Rutgers Camden and Rutgers Newark. So make sure that you pick Rutgers, New Brunswick. Don't freak out though if because I can always go and either have CompTIA attach you to the class through the back end or find you that way. So when I grade every week, I'll know whether or not I can see your coursework, and I'll show you because I can look at your progress within the course, and I do every week for everybody. So if you're not showing up on my list, then I'll know that somehow or other you're not linked. So we'll figure that out. Okay. So about this class. All right. So here are the graded assignments. I've already talked a lot about them, but we'll just cover them quickly. Again, this is all in your syllabus as well as on PowerPoint, who else is in Canvas. So your first assignment is the weekly Cert Master Learn platform units. Again, I review this stuff. I do not grade it. Now, of course, the platform gives you grades. But none of those grades, none of those points actually come into this class or this coursework or your actual grade for this class. But it is how I'm able to see, are you spending time in there? How you doing? Are you doing, what parts of the course are you, what are you looking at the labs? Are you doing the activities? So I can kind of judge how you're using the work, the coursework as well. 12 weekly journals, assignment 2 again. So a journal is they're due not this Friday, but next Friday is going to be your first journal entry. Journals, again, there aren't a prompt, so you can write as much write about what you want, basically about your experience. Some students use this to write a summary of what they learned. Some people reflect on what a rotten week it was. Some people reflect on what they picked. Some people reflect on, something that happened at their job that they're able to use their new skills for. So again, this is kind of an opportunity for you to, again, so all part of this for you to reflect back on how you're learning, how you're managing your time, where you're being successful, where you're seeing practical applications of this. So again, 150 words, they're pretty short. I read them all, I respond to them all. I don't respond to your discussion post in the thread, so it's not public. I will respond to each of you to each of your postings as a comment to your grade, so that we can have a more of a personal relationship and you can ask me questions and I can say, well, maybe you need to speed it up a little bit here, or etc. So that's where you'll find my comments. The third assignment, there's 2 parts to it. There's the practice exam, and we've got it set up so that as long as you're showing that you are making the attempt, and the attempt means is that you've done the practice exam at least twice, and you've tried to answer at least 50% of the questions each of your attempts, you are guaranteed no less than a C for that grade. So again, by November, some of you will be through the coursework, others of you will be panicking. We don't want this assignment to panic you or stress you out. We want you to dig in and understand. Doing the practice exam is by far and away the best way to prep for the final. So again, but we've designed it in such a way that as long as you show that you're putting in the effort, you are guaranteed a C. If you get more than that, of course, you can get all the points. So there's lots of opportunity there. But again, you are guaranteed that C. The second part of that is called the Empower Essay, which is after you've taken the practice exam. I want you to sit back and go through kind of a little bit of a list and a scaffolding to help you think through what your experience was on the practice exam and how you're going to apply that as a strategy to take the final. So these again are all things that you will do in the future as you pursue other certifications as well. There is a participation grade, and that is calculated by how many page views you have and how often you participate. And participation in this case is, did you get your journal entries posted by Mondays at the latest? Oh, that's the other thing too. So the journal entries, again, are due on Fridays at midnight, but you have until Monday at midnight to get in the journal entry for full credit. So you got a 72-hour grace period. So you get full participation grades if all 12 times you get your journal entry in on time, which is Monday by midnight, and you have a high level of page views, meaning that you've actually spent time reading and maybe even responding to your classmates' reflections. So it's not required that you respond to each other or have threaded discussions, but it really does help. Side note, if any of you want to form a study group outside of the class, I'm happy to help you organize that as well. And the last thing is the certification test or the competency exam. There's a couple of the courses that still call it a certification test, but they're making that switch now. So that happens like this. There's two sessions, two 24-hour sessions that you can take the final. The first session is December 15th through the 16th. The second session, December 22nd or the 23rd. So within that 24-hour period, you can, from your own location, using your own device, you will take the competency assessment or certification final during that period of time. So they're usually 60 to 120 minutes. And again, they are all formatted as problem-based learning. So it's all scenarios. It's not multiple choice, no true false, no fill in the blank. It's all about applying what you know and being able to show them. So those are the graded assignments. Okay, so just real quick. So again, this is the Cert Master Learn platform, what I talked about. Pro tip, aim to be done with your units if possible by mid-November, and then work on the practice exam and your Empower essay, which are due on November 21st. So if you really dig in now, you should be in good shape for November and your practice exam. However, regardless of where you are when November rolls around, you still have to take the practice exam. So, just dig in there. A lot of times people will take the exam and then really understand what it is that they need to do. So again, just a reminder, none of this is graded, but I do review your progress and I will give you some gentle and or not necessarily so gentle nudges if I think it's warranted. So as I alluded to earlier, I can see your platform progress. So I have access to all of these different reports. In particular, the one I usually look at is the individual scores by product, which means I can see again in your course what you're taking, which actual lessons you're looking at, which part of the unit you're on, what your grade was, how long you spent there, how much time you spent with the platform in particular. Cert Master platform does calculate how much time you spend again, and it's a little tricky. So make sure in order so that time that you spend is actually recorded, you have to make sure that you actually hit the submit button, or else I guess it just goes into the ether. So again, they report your product usage and your individual scores. And this is how they do it. I'm not going to go through this in depth, but so make sure again that you spend time in each one of the particular areas if you want that time recorded. And again, you need to make sure that you submit the lesson to make it count. So closing the browser tab instead of submitting the lab will result in your time not being recorded. So that's what I'm talking about. So don't just close out the browser, make sure you submit something. These are the weekly assignments. Again, they're going to start next week. It's 38% of your grade, so they cannot be made up unless you have an excused absence. And again, you should complete this journal entry regardless of where you're at in Cert Master platform. In fact, if you're not as far as you want, that can be your journal entry for that week. So don't wait to get through the unit to post your reflection. Again, as I mentioned before, they're due on Fridays at 11:59 p.m. You got a 72-hour grace period. Post your reflection even if you haven't finished. And I'm not going to send any reminders. This is self-learning and time management. These are important objectives for the course. And I will caution you, I will tell this to you, and I will assure you that somebody in the class will blow this off, but do not blow off the journal entries. It is the thing, it's the buffer that protects your grade, especially if you're struggling with the content. So yes, I do respond to your journal entries. This is the kind of thing I do. I put my comments in your grade. I talked about that all as well. Sometimes I have more things to say than others. Some of you will just be going through merrily and there's not much I can say other than keep up the good work. I usually post my comments on Thursday, so I'm usually maybe almost a week after that you've posted, but I do try and keep that as timely as possible. I have a lot of students every semester, so time is a lot for me. And what I comment on your progress, tips on how to study, I answer any questions that you may pose. I give you advice and guidance and maybe gentle reminders to how to improve. Third assignment, which I mentioned before, this is the practice exam. Again, you're going to have a period of time between November 7th and November 21st to take the exam. You can take this as many times as you want. And I would encourage you to keep taking it until you can get the score that you're looking for. If you can get over a 90% on your practice exams, or 95 in particular, then you're pretty much assured that you're ready to take the final. I will use the highest score that you earn on the practice exam as your grade, the grade book. And again, if you pass the practice exam, you get all 15 points. If you don't pass the practice exam, you get a percentage of what you did earn in the practice exam by 15 to get a number of points. And again, if you tried really hard and you've done the exam twice and you've completed at least 50% of the questions in both exams, you're guaranteed at least a C, even if you still got a 40% or something like that. Right. Here's that assignment again. Empower is oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. On the last slide, what is it? So the practice exam, we can take as many times as we want. And what is it? Are we still able to take it, say, to prepare for the final afterwards, or will we be locked out of it come November 21st?
No, it's all there. You can take it as many. You can just keep taking it over and over and over again. So it's really good that way.
Would you say that's the
always-
best option, probably preparing for the final?
Yeah, but I'll take the grade. Anything after November 21st wouldn't go into your practice exam grade per se. So again, so I need you to take it between the 7th and the 21st of November for the grade, for the practice exam grade in the grade book.
Okay, and also I saw mentioned, what is it? As long as you pass the practice exam, you get full credit for that assignment.
Yep.
But
Yep.
then I saw like it was, I don't know, that was just an example, like a 95%.
Yeah.
Or is that what's considered passing, or
I
is that
believe, but I am not 100% sure that every practice exam has a threshold of 95% for passing.
okay? Thank you.
But here's a cool little something to keep, something to know. The 95% threshold for passing in the practice exam is much higher than the threshold for passing the actual competency assessment. Does that make sense?
So it's like harder to pass the
it is harder to
practice
pass.
exam.
Exactly. Yeah. So it takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Okay, thank you.
Also, of course, each test has a CompTIA gives you, tells you beforehand, what passing score is on the final as well. So that you know, and you get your score right away. All right. Here's that participation grade that I talked about. Again, all 12 journal entries by Monday, and read and participate and interact with your fellow students. You can get partial points, so maybe you got all the journals in, but you didn't have any page views, or vice versa. So I'll give that. And that's all at the end of the summer. Again, here is the certification exam or competency assessment. And I think it's worth 30 points. And again, if you pass it, you get all 30 points. If you don't pass it, you get a percentage of the points that you did. And I will round all the grades up if it's necessary. So here's the sessions again, session 1 and session 2. So you choose. I'll have a sign-up sheet closer to the date of the exam. And yes, you can switch out if you want to. If you are done early and you really want to, I can set these up. If you want to take it before December 15th, let me know and I can set that up for you. Here's a grade scale, which is the same common grade scale that we use at Sky. Grading policies again. Deadlines are noted in the syllabus. All work is submitted in Canvas. No email submissions unless I say so. Again, journal entries submitted after 72 hours will get a 0 and they cannot be made up. So get that in. That being said, I will always try to help every single student get through this class one way or another. So if you're having trouble, if you're falling behind, I am an email or a phone call or a Zoom meeting away. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to get you across the finish line. ChatGPT, AI, yep, you should and could and probably will be using it, but again, it's not going to help you a whole lot other than it's going to help you It can help you summarize content. It can help you generate flashcards. It can help you find additional study resources. So I again encourage you to find and use whatever AI tool is working best for you, because that's the way the world is going, and you need to get good at that as well. Again, it's just not going to help you actually pass the test. You're going to have to do this one on your own. But do remain cautious due to lack of content quality and lack of human expertise. And again, it is changing everything as well. So getting off to a good start. Getting Cert Master Learn platform running on your computer may or may not be easy depending on the configuration and your computer and the age of your operating system and all that kind of stuff. So it can be tricky. I cannot help you. So you got to go to CompTIA help desk for that. So content then. Here's my best advice for you. Give yourself plenty of time with this class, especially in the beginning. Get started right away, get your license right away, start playing, start understanding the interface. There is a learning curve for this one. It can get really intimidating and very stressful if you put this on the back burner, and it is so easy to do that because you don't have to attend a class. That's why the journal entry is there. Again, it's a little reminder, a little push. But again, speaking from experience, dig in, get in here earlier. This is not the kind of class that you can fit in around the edges of your schedule or just do here and there. There's a few learners that can do it that way. Most people can't. This is a thing where you got to have some concentration. You have to figure out how you learn best. So if videos aren't working for you, read your classmates, find out what other people are doing. You know, if the labs are difficult for you, you know, what are other people doing? So take your time and understand how it is that you learn. It takes focus, it takes consistency and grit. And by that, I mean that you have to do this even though you might not want to. You have to move through this material. We're using certification in a different way than it's intended. We are using this class to help you learn something when in the professional world, a certification is supposed to certify that you already know something. So that's the difference with that. So again, this takes got to dig in with this one. If you make the time now at the beginning of the semester to get yourself set up and get the discipline that you need around this class, you're going to really set yourself up for success. Here's your first assignments. Again, your first assignment is due September 12th. And by then, you need to have the following. You should have purchased your course, or at least be well on your way to purchasing your course. Again, I'm available to help you or have any kind of, if you want to talk through anything. Again, one of the things I said at the beginning of the meeting is if you purchase a course, let's say you purchase Security Pro, and you look at Security Pro, no, let's say you purchase networking and you look at networking and you go, wow, this is over my head. I want to do security. You can do that as long as you don't spend very much time within the courseware. CompTIA says 2 hours, so spend less than 2 hours. If after you spend some time and you look around the course and you go, this just isn't for me, then contact me. Let me know what course you do want to try, and then I'll work with CompTIA to get you switched over into that class. All right, so again, so you're going to purchase your course, you're going to do your onboarding, which units 0 or 1 or get started, and you're going to post your first reflective journal to Canvas Forum by, again, put it in your brain that journal entries are due Friday at midnight, but again, also know in the back of your mind that you have 72 hours to get it in for full credit. And that's it. So I will now share for good and see whether or not anybody has any other questions.
I have a question.
Sure.
Did you ever mention how long the journal entries were supposed to be?
They're about 150 words or so. Again, all of this is in the assignments on Canvas, so there's more detail about the assignments there.
Okay, thank you.
Again, this is professional writing, it's not texting, so I used to be a high school English teacher way back in the day. That was where I got my first teaching experience. So I do appreciate I still am old fashioned and I like grammar, I like punctuation, and I even like capital letters. So, but you're writing kind of not only for me and for your classmates, but you're really writing for yourself as well. So use this as an opportunity for you to express, your experience with that. Anybody else?
What do you mean by like page views on the just for the
Page
discussion?
views, when you link a page view is basically when you linger over a page or you bring up a page and you spend some time on it. Page views again, if you go through and you read the thread, you read it, you read your classmates' reflections. Those are all page views.
So just spending time on the discussion post counts as it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
thanks.
where I really want you to spend your time. Yeah. It's interesting. People are interesting. We have interesting people in Rutgers. So you guys are all have your own interesting stories and you're all going, it's kind of like bowling alone, right? So we're all going through the same thing, same experience, but with very vastly different day-to-day experiences. And so that's what's interesting. And you will especially learn a lot about how other people self-learn, which is something that's always enlightening. It's good to understand that people don't think the same way.
Also, when you mentioned before, like saving, like when you mentioned like, oh, saving in the lab, if you close out the browser, it won't save. I assume there's going to be like a manual save option, or do you have to finish what you're doing for it to save? Like, say you
You
want to
can,
come back to something
yeah, you can
later.
come back. Yeah. It's user friendly like that. Yep.
And this, the course master, it's in the browser, or is it something we download under the
It's in a
computer?
browser. It runs in the browser.
Okay.
Yeah. So it again, it can be tricky getting it up and running depending on your computer. Again, like I said, the variables and configuration that each person has is different. So occasionally a student will have tough time running it, but it seems to work pretty well. Performance can be different, however, depending on how much GPU you have and space and all of that kind of thing. So if you're having performance issues, then it's probably if your device either doesn't have enough, short-term or long-term memory, or your graphics card doesn't support it, or it's not fast enough. So again, those are things I can't help with, but you'll have to troubleshoot that yourself. Okay. All right, I'm gonna just pick a few people out of the audience here and call your names, so get ready. And I'm gonna call on Mahima because I know Mahima. Mahima, do you have any other questions?
No. Also, hi.
Hi, nice to
How are
see
you
you.
doing?
I am well, thank you. I saw you and Malik in the class together.
Yeah. Hopefully Medic should be in this class too. But
Okay,
I don't really have any questions. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm going the cybersecurity route, so
okay,
trying to figure out which one I should do. Most
okay.
likely the popular one you mentioned.
Is that Security Pro? Yep,
Yeah.
it's good. It's a really good class. And again, there's about half of the class will choose that one.
Yeah.
All right, well, good to see you again, Mahima. How about Emily? How about you? Do you have any questions or any comments, thoughts you'd like to offer?
I would say I'm oh, I just want to say hi first. I would also say the same. I don't have any questions at the moment. I guess like right now I'm just trying to figure out which one to register for.
Yeah. Um, Shauna, how about you?
No, I don't have any more
Mm,
questions other than the one I asked.
Good. All right. A couple more. Anthony, you were one of our early arrivers. Anything confusing to you? Anything you need to know more about? No, maybe none. How about Harnor? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm good for now, I feel like.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Well, we are at 5:01, so I'm going to go ahead. If anybody has any other questions, let me know. You can email me. I'm going to record the first part of this video again and splice it in, and then I will post the entire video to the Canvas site. Uh, Last thing to say again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm here to help you get through this class. It is a challenging class. It's a good one. And a lot of times it makes the difference for people in getting that first first gig, so it's definitely worth the time and the effort. So looking forward to working with all of you this semester, and that's it. So let me know and have a great weekend, and we will see you next week when I read your first set of reflections. So I'll stick around for a few more minutes in case anybody has. If not, you're all excused. Thank you for attending, and we'll see each other online through the rest of the semester. Bye-bye.
I
Bye.
have one more question. What
Sure.
the how much would you say this platform and then eventually the test at the end prepares you for the actual like industry exam, like for A plus? Would you say it's if you like do really well, get a really high score, you should be able to get a passing score on say the A plus exam?
I certainly couldn't guarantee 100%, but the likelihood is very, very high that if you do well in this class, that you'll be able to do really well on your industry recognized exam. So, especially the A plus plus one, because that's again kind of like their gold star product. So, a lot of it really depends on you, not knowing what kind of a learner you are or how you retain information. So, but it is the best and the cheapest and the most impactful way that you can get prepped for that particular, for getting an industry recognized certification, and getting course credit for it. So it's doing a lot.
Also, do we say you say like after unit one for the first week, are we able to possibly like say skip around
You
in
can
the
do whatever, yeah, you can do whatever you want in however you want to learn, or however you want to learn, however you want to use the learning platform, that's up to you and part of your learning experience. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah,
Have a good day.
good. All right, thank you. Anybody else? Nathaniel, thank you for keeping yourself on camera the entire time. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. I have a couple questions, honestly. I'm still trying to
Mhm.
figure out which exam or which area I'm wanting to go